Excuse me, is anybody sitting here? Sorry, this seat's taken. Sorry.
Brandon, I saw a fan casting this morning of Jafar Jackson as playing Nightcrawler for the X-Men movies.
Stop
So what do you
that
think
right
about
now.
that?
No.
You're not for it? You don't really care about that?
Dude, no.
I mean, I see he's already in talks for a next role coming up pretty soon. I forgot what it was.
Why?
It was a pretty big one. You don't think Jafar Jackson would continue acting?
I think he did a phenomenal job embodying his uncle. You know,
Right.
I think he absolutely crushed it. Did I leave there going, wow, I can't wait to see him in more things? No, not at all.
You can say that about more than half the actors, though. I mean, like, yeah, I don't care if I see half of these actors ever again, but like, I'm excited when I do. I would be excited to see him a little bit more. I saw like rumors that he could play Tiger Woods in a biopic. That'd be pretty cool too. I could see that happening.
Why? I don't know. Maybe I'm putting him in a box, but I quite literally I left and I said he did a great job embodying the mannerisms because obviously it runs in the family, but nothing in there made me believe that he could go out and then actually perform. What did he do in the movie, bro?
You are 1,000% put in the box. Like, give him a chance. Let him go out there and try acting. You don't know what he really could see.
Wasn't that his first acting role?
Yes, but I think because of that, that's like gonna put him in a box, and like anytime he's gonna be on screen, no matter what other character he's gonna be playing, people are going to think of him as Michael Jackson. I think joining the X-Men could help with that a little bit too, because like maybe, I don't know how much it was going to help his acting career, but I think it was helped him, his brand, his name a little bit more.
It'll help him, but how does it help the MCU? How does it help Disney? You know?
How does Connor help Cyclops? You know, like it's the same thing, Brandon.
Because he's a proven actor. That's the difference we're talking here. We talked about Storm, and they literally went out of their way to go get someone off, Broadway who has like a theater background because they want. And I'm not saying that these are going to be the performances of a lifetime, but I'm not taking just because he was successful playing his uncle that now he gets the slate
I get what you're saying, and
major character. That's crazy.
I will throw in there, like, yeah, it is credit. It does run in the genes, but I feel like he did put in the work. I'd seen a lot of interviews where he practices mannerisms. He really studied this character, and I think he could take that and do something else with it.
So, like, okay, but I'll go against myself here. I think of like someone like O'Shea Jackson Jr., right? Like he obviously played Tupac. I mean, not Tupac. He obviously played his why am I blanking on his name?
His dad, Ice Cube.
Ice Cube, and he did a really good job. His dad made him, audition for it, and he went through the process. He put in the work, but he was also doing other stuff, and now you still see him. He's got a new movie coming out next week. Like, so yes, there is a world where he takes that route and runs with it, but I thought in real time, like, not only is this guy a great Ice Cube, he's a pretty decent actor when I was watching it. I think I only thought, wow, he's doing a great job, like embodying Michael Jackson. I don't know if I necessarily left being like phenomenal actor. I think that's the big difference here.
Okay. He doesn't necessarily have to act. I mean, that whole family probably doesn't have to work again in their lives. Like,
for
few generations.
Yeah.
I think like he even said like he never seen himself as an actor. I think he saw himself more as a professional golfer. If I'm thinking of the right actor, I think he does golf a little bit more than acting. So.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's like what I mean, because there's a difference to me of, hey, we need someone with a similar build, like, hey, like who can really get this down, and him sitting on the bench being like, you know what? I think I can do this. Like, absolutely. And I think that he is the number one guy for that specific job. What does that look like outside of that? I don't know, but I damn sure know that I don't know if the next step for him is automatic MCU movie. I think that's a pretty big jump.
It's the same thing with Obsession and Nikki.
She's done other things. Yeah. And like that's the biggest difference right there. That was her breakout role for sure. Like, and that got more eyes on her, but she had already done a few other things. And now when you take that to her, like capitalizing on that makes sense to me.
Okay. I just don't want to I don't know. It's not that I don't like talking about these actors. I don't like talking about the X-Men this soon, I don't want to talk about the X-Men.
Rob, it's hype season, okay? We are getting a trajectory hitherto unknown, okay? This is it, man. No, we'll see a few of them in Doomsday, right?
You think so?
Not this new cast, but we're going to see.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
And then Secret Wars, we are most likely going to see them, so.
How do you think, I just said I don't want to talk about them, here I go. How do you think they would do Cyclops' costume in X-Men? Because it looks like we're getting a comic book accurate costume in Doomsday. Do you think they would copy that directly into this new one? Because I would love that. I mean, I'm sure they're just giving it to in Doomsday because like this is a one and done kind of thing. Like might as well give it to them.
Go out on a bang for sure. Similar to a Deadpool Wolverine situation. I think it depends on the fan reaction. I think that if it's well received, obviously they're in the just beginning stages of pre-production, so they can go and fix that, and But if it really only fits that look or that aesthetic that they're going for, because you got to also remember it's not just like it's not in a bubble. It's not like, hey, this is just his costume. It doesn't make sense compared to everybody else. So you have to build it out like that. Right. You can't be the only one in a comic accurate costume. That would be really strange.
1,000% agree with that. I think they did start production on Secret Wars, I believe I just read not too long ago too.
Heating up.
Yeah, I'm excited for all this stuff. But enough about Marvel, Brandon. Like we have plenty to talk about because like Lanterns officially started this past week. I think when we recorded last week, that first episode was premiering that night, and I saw you watch it right away. I think I waited a day. What'd you think about it? How was it?
Yeah, dude, I was so mad at you. I was so ridiculously mad when I saw that you watched it the next day. I was like, we were literally hyped together. What is this?
What? Yeah, in my defense, like I was like editing the podcast because we recorded and I did the podcast the night before, and I wanted to give my full attention. Like that's why I didn't want to do it while I was recording or editing.
No, all good, dude. I was literally so excited, and that's the thing I think we talk about, like not letting our expectations outweigh everything that happens in the show. But thankfully, this lived up to the hype. I'm so excited. Obviously, we only got one episode, and this is why I hate the only one episode thing. Give me 2 at least.
No,
but yeah, man, this was absolutely phenomenal. What'd you think?
I had a blast watching this, Brandon. I mean, a lot of the criticisms, like from the trailers at least, was like the lack of color and like the sense of direction that we're going into. I think this does like a pretty good job about setting things up, setting the tone of what the show's going to be like. And it does feel like a true crime kind of mystery at the end. And you just dive right into it. You already have a Hal Jordan established who's training his like potential replacement one day. And Aaron Pierre, excuse me. And they kind of explain the rules, like how they mentioned the leaders, the Lantern Corps and stuff like that. One thing they didn't mention that is like I wish they did in the trailer when they were talking about other lanterns, like I don't really talk to them. They're all aliens, and one of them is a squirrel. Like they cut that from the scene. I don't know. Maybe we'll see that in a different scene.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a ton of questions that are raised. There's a ton of questions that are raised, like a lot with a continuity of it being part of the DC universe, like Superman references and stuff like that, and like how they even say like there can only be one lantern on Earth. How do we have Guy Gardner, which I think the directors did say they are going to touch on in the season. So I'm just along for the ride, Brandon. I had a great time watching this. I think everyone was good. The soundtrack was pretty cool. It was pretty cool and interesting. I love the dynamic between these two. I really was against Hal Jordan playing a hero and like really passing on the torch already because I like Hal Jordan a lot.
100%.
But I like the route they're going. Hal Jordan's been around since like the 70s and 80s. I think he came out in the 80s as like revealing his identity. And so he already has established history in this world, which I think we're just going to be unraveling a little bit as we go along. I hope we find out more about some of his other missions, but you could tell this guy's been around the block a few times. He plays so good. Even if it was this actor, who is the actor? I'm blanking his name right now. Who plays Hal?
Kyle Chandler.
Even if it was Kyle Chandler younger and like playing Hal Jordan young, I think he would have done phenomenal because I really like him as an actor and I really like him in this role too. And I had a good time. I don't really have any complaints about this. It's the first episode. You caught my attention. I'm going to be along for the ride for the next several episodes. Do you think it's going to end like in a big cinematic kind of fight duel or anything like that? Or
I don't think so, man. I think that's the entire point of this show is that it's not, it's not slop, Rob, for lack of a better word. And like, how does this connect in? We know that we'll see the Green Lanterns, at least Aaron Pierre, eventually on the big screen. But what does that look like for here? And I'm with you. I think the number one, probably the best thing that they did that kind of threw me off a little bit at first was obviously we get the flashback 1996, the year of our birth. when they do like the intro, but then it's like flashes to 2016. And then all of this as we know it is set in 2016. I was like, okay, that's not where I thought that they would go. And then obviously we know there's another time jump that happens at the end of the episode. So spending more time in here explains all these things without us constantly being like, why doesn't Superman just hop in? We know he wasn't on Earth yet at this time. Why doesn't, where's Guy Gardner? Like, he's not involved here yet. So that alleviates the pressure there, lets them tell this story, and now we can go off to the races. But I'm curious because, we're not seeing action the way that I think that we anticipated seeing the action. So I would be slightly shocked if this ends up in a big, all-out fight.
I 1,000% agree with that. we don't even know who the villain is yet. I've been seeing like theories and stuff like that. There's even a theory that Guy Gardner's the villain. Who I can tell you.
No.
People are saying Guy Gardner's the one who took his ring, because he's missing a ring, but the only difference is like Guy Gardner's ring is a little bit different in the movie versus what's on Hal's hand the whole time. And then like Aaron Pierre, like his character like sleeps with that guy. We're gonna jump into spoiler territory for a little bit. So if you don't, go watch the first episode. It's good. It's great. It's streaming on HBO Max right now. Episode 2 is dropping tonight. By the time you're listening to this, it will be out. But Aaron Pierre's character, like, just randomly, like, I like him as an actor because he plays it so calm and collective. He's a chill guy. Like, you could tell. And I mean, this is his character as well. He was a military kid too, so he's learning. And I think that's what Hal Jordan's really pushing for him, to see how much he can break him, which he's already built that in. Like, you could fucking talk shit to me all you want. I'm still going to come back and reply with a yes, sir, yes, man kind of thing. You see that throughout the whole show. And I think that's a little bit of a test to him to see how much he could take. But like to throw that random side quest, like he slept with an older woman too, and then later you find out like it's like it doesn't seem like his character. That seemed kind of random to me. Like he would just like a one night stand with his person he meets in the bar.
There's a few things that I love, and probably at the tip of the spear, I found it so fascinating that this is rated R, and they do not shy away from it. Like, up front, there was already like a few F-bombs, and I was like, okay, almost like caught me off guard, like I felt out of place until all right, hold on, let's get into it. And then when that happens, I was like, oh, so there's just no limits on this whatsoever. I think I told you, like, Green Lantern was my favorite superhero growing up as a kid. Like, I also have this very rigid idea of John Stewart and who he is. So it's like interesting. I'm carefully watching how they play it, because yes, the comic book John and like at least the Justice League of America John, I don't know if he's doing that, but also he had a little thing for Cheetah in the show. He had a little thing for he been around a lot, bro. So I was I'm cautiously waiting to see what they'll do.
I'm so glad you compared it to the animated Justice League show, because to me, like, he's portraying that exactly. Like, it has calm demeanor. Like, his voice is I don't want to call it a monotone voice, but his strong, solid voice. I feel like he plays that perfectly in this movie or this show.
I know that I feel like I've asked you this 7,000 times, and I always forget your answer. Did you end up watching Rebel Ridge?
Yes, I did. I think we talked about it on the show. I know. I probably talked about it on the show.
Because you hated it, which was the wrong answer. I blocked it out. But like, this is like one of those cool moments where I could absolutely see James Gunn, whoever, watching that and being like, that's that like is what we need. We'll tweak it in a way, but like that military, like, or like ex-military, that silent charisma that he has, like that exuding presence is all John, and it translates here perfectly.
And I think it just really gives the character dimension too, because like I'm tired of seeing superhero movies or shows like where guy stumbles upon an accident, gets his powers, overcomes like the big threat that he overcomes is, he gets strength to defeat them. He gets the girl at the end. This one's more like detective work, which is really only we see mostly in Batman storylines. So it's really cool. I'm excited to see like it reaching out to other heroes as well.
Yeah.
People are also comparing Hal Jordan to the Flash in this movie, how he's like kind of training Wally West in a way, which I can kind of see that too.
Yeah, I will say this, and you kind of touched about it up front. Bro, Kyle Chandler is so good in this. Like, I saw like the Twitter reaction, and everybody, and I agree, was like, if this show came out 10 years ago, 15 years ago with like a younger child, Kyle Chandler, this would have been generational. Like, he would have been up there with the Iron Mans of the world. Like, it is so specific. And I'm with you. Me and you both had that, like, I don't want old Hal Jordan. Like that was never really my vibe. I want to see, but he is so experienced, but like tired of it all, and he embodies that perfectly. I also like that they're making John, like yeah, they got the rookie thing, but even him making mistakes, like I appreciate that. Similar to what you say, he's not like got it all figured out. Like he has the attitude that he does, but he's still learning, and that's visible on screen as well.
Let me ask this question about the actual show, because like I don't know if they'll answer this later, because I was kind of confused about it too. Like there's a scene where John gets the ring when he falls off the car, and he portrays like a projection of Hal Jordan, and you find out it's from like 2006, I think it was, and he relays a message to him saying like there's aliens in this town, and then Hal's like kind of shocked when he hears that. I was like, I don't understand like how he's shocked. Isn't like didn't you say that at one point? Like I don't understand how that really is relevant.
It's not a recording. It's
okay.
It is a recording, but it's mixed with the ring's subconscious. So it's like a living version of him. That's why they say you have to update it like every before you go on mission, so it's up to date. Like it's basically if you took yourself and recorded like a message, but then like also there's an AI program of you.
Yeah,
so it's all mixed in there.
I guess it's kind of similar to Superman and Man of Steel, where his dad, he was talking to his dad the whole time. I guess that makes a little more sense.
Yeah.
But like, how does the AI version know that there's aliens, in his other time, from 2006 too at that, And then they go
that's
there.
What we're going to figure out, right? It's all connected. Yeah. And that's why he said like the message of that, it either made him remember that or like there's something happening within space and time that is connecting these, because again, similar to what you just said, it's clearly doing something with the decades, right? We meet him, we see that flashback of John watching a TV interview in 1996. We jump to 2016. The dude, or like the ring version, is from 2006, and then it ends in this year, 2026. So like that's clearly going to be the through line throughout this.
Yeah, I don't think I'm reading too much into the 10-year jump there, because even James Gunn did that thing with the 3 decades ago. He came to this earth, but even James Gunn said like, yeah, I just like the number 3. Like it has nothing to do with anything. Don't worry about that. I think it's gonna be similar. Like it's just 10 years is a good enough gap to like, and then 10 years is a good enough gap where you can later down the line fill stuff in if you want to. I think that's a good reason.
Absolutely.
I'm excited for season. Who do you think? Do you have any suspicion of who the villain might be yet? Like, I mean, Sinestro
they're manhunters. I mean, like that much I know. The question is who's leading them. But I mean, just from literally the last episode confirmed it. I mean, the literal definition of a manhunter. But we'll see, because obviously we know that we're gonna see Sinestro at some point.
Yeah. I think he may be like a last episode, like maybe end credit scene, maybe.
No shot. They put it in the trailer. It's not gonna be the last. Yeah,
you're right.
So I'm thinking it's like episode 3, episode 4 at the latest.
Okay.
Because then you'll have the problem of everybody knowing that it's coming, like it already exists.
What episode do you think we would get a full suit reveal from Hal or John?
Good question. I think we said it last time. If I don't see it by episode 3, I'm gonna be pretty perturbed, Rob.
Yeah. Do you remember like when they were making Daredevil Born Again the first season and they restarted all over again, like midway through production, just because like I heard like he wasn't even going to suit up to like episode 6. I was like, that would piss me off.
Yeah.
If that was the case. But let's talk about the ring power though. Like it's always hard to do CGI acting and like how to make it look cool. And like the bubble in this one, like you do see him like put a bubble around an explosion. And you could tell it's green, but it's also see-through too. Because I was thinking about that. Like, how do you do that? How do you make something you can see through, but also make it look green? And I think they had a pretty good common ground with it here a little bit. It kind of looks like a film screen around this character. That was just fuzzing green a little bit here and there. I thought that was pretty cool. And then also you see him like fly in this one. I thought that was pretty cool because it seemed pretty seamless. Like you don't see any, well, not that you would ever see wires because they're so good about that, but it doesn't feel like he's on wires.
It doesn't look weird or out of place. Like it just feels like a one continuous movement. I did see the interview with the showrunners and writers talking about like they're space cops, right? We know this about the Green Lanterns. So he said that, similar to how the cops aren't supposed to take out their guns for everything. Like, they're not just going to use their rings to solve all the problems. Like, it's supposed to be a power. But also, I loved, again, getting real nerdy when they were doing the interview or the interrogation when old boy was like, how much juice you got left in your ring?
Yeah.
It's such a hyper specific, like, yes, it does need to be charged. Like, okay, they know ball. Like, obviously they know about the characters, but all right, that means that, you know, there's ways to nerf them. So it's not just like, oh, let me just make a construct for any and everything. Like, I mean, that being said, he did use it as a bottle opener at one point. So
he also gave fake currency. He had made fake money, you know?
Yeah, I was saying.
But that scene, the interrogation scene, I'm glad you brought that up because, like, that was a good scene because when he said, like, how much juice you have, you just see his expression on his face change. And it kind of reminded me a little bit of that Taxi with Tom Holland and Michael Keaton, where, like, they're just playing, it's the actors that really made that scene really great. You know, that's such a good scene, too. And I'm so excited. I hope Hal is in the show throughout the entire length as well. I don't want it to, like, he's gone the first episode and we're not going to see him again later. Which
no. I
don't think I've seen him in any of the trailers.
Yes,
like,
well, sprinting to the end, we know that at least it is perceived that he dies at some point in the current timeline. He's dead right now. When do you think that happens? Like, where is that cutoff point? Do you think that
it's hard because, like, he's still preserved. Like, it still look kind of like maybe a day, and he's also in a pose too. You know how hard that is to die in that pose, like, and it makes you
not in the cold.
I guess, but it's hard to see it. Like, I don't know. It gets me so curious because, like, you see him as this hero who has a lot of shit figured out. To seem like he would get, like, I'm assuming it's a bullet. You don't know what it is, like, in his head, without even, like, a trace of, like, any struggle or anything like that. Like, he just probably didn't even see it coming. So I'm curious. Like, I mean, that's just their job as the showrunners to do. Like, to get me so invested in it. Like, I'm so perplexed on how they're gonna tie this up.
Yeah.
And I think they read that they did.
I truly do feel like we'll have more information after this.
Yeah,
like,
for sure,
episode.
for sure.
Like,
and
that
like
will
they did
set the tone for the rest of it.
I think they did talk about the showrunners like they took some inspiration for, like, shows like the X-Files and stuff like that, which totally makes sense too. Like, it's the whole back and forth between telling the story, different timelines. I know we're caught up to 2026. I bet you we're probably going to go back to, like, say 2015 or 2018, 2019. We're going to go back and forth, I think, a little bit.
Not that far, man. Not that. No, because this is all happening. Like, they're investigating this. I think that this is one of those situations, like, where this happens over the course of a week, right? And then, like, that's a story they're telling. But also, like, I could be convinced. So actually, I take it back. I have no idea.
Yeah.
This obviously, you know, is received well from, like, as we talked about when that last trailer came out, it kind of changed the perception. This had 9.3 million global viewers. It broke the all-time HBO DC studio record for, like, most viewers. So people are talking about it. It's received critically well, and it's doing well for the actual studio. So if it can maintain that, we're gonna have something special, Rob.
Yeah, I think that little boy he was training, John was training the football with, because he's grown now in 2026. They already mentioned, like, I think he's gonna be like an important character down the line. I heard rumors about that too, because I think he does play somebody in DC. I could be wrong.
We have nobody. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, it's too early. It's too early, but I'm excited. I'm excited. But yeah, episode 2 coming out tonight. By the time you're listening to this, it will be out. We'll talk about it next week. Enough time to give you to watch it so we can talk about spoilers. Movies wise, we just talked about there's a ton of movies out in theaters right now. I've been too busy to go see them all, but we're here to talk about Tony, Brandon, the movie about Anthony Bourdain. Did you know anything about this guy before watching this movie?
No, I've heard his name before, for sure. I absolutely have heard his name before, but not at all. Couldn't tell you anything.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing about the movie too, like, or trailers at least, like, I was tired of seeing this trailer just because, like, it looked like it showed the entire movie, which it kind of did.
Yeah.
But that being said, I had a blast watching this movie. I love this movie. I think I talk about it all the time. What makes a good movie for me? If you walk out the theater door, feeling anything, I felt pretty inspired after watching this movie. I felt pretty good. And just because, like, I felt like it was a relatable movie in the process of thought, you know, like, as growing up and thinking you have everything figured out, and also getting frustrated when it's not going the way you wanted. You try to makeshift it. Like, you see him lying a lot in this movie we'll talk about. But then once you finally accept yourself, accept like, okay, I think this is the path I should be going on, everything seems to be working out a little bit better for you. You know, it was so good in the storytelling. There was not one character I would have replaced or actor I would have replaced.
Yeah, for sure.
Antonio Banderas was kind of a surprise for me to see in the movie. Like, not to say he wouldn't do it, but like this is a pretty big part because he's in it like probably 80% of the movie.
Yeah.
And I couldn't remember tell you the last time I seen him do that, but he plays such an older, mature, wise man so well. Stavros is great because I love him in everything he does. I think he's a hilarious character. Even that character who plays Sal, played by Leo Woodall, the one who gets fired.
Never heard of him before, or I've never seen this dude before. I love this guy. Put him in more things.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. He was pretty cool, and he does such a good job about portraying, like, if you want to put like symbolism of like the sinister, like the sins, like the lust.
He's a dickhead, Rob. He's a douche canoe.
But I mean, as a representation, I think like he's pretty good about playing like how Tony could turn out, you know, if he followed on that path. But Brandon, I cannot say it good enough. I don't think I have anything bad to say about this movie. It is Oscar bait a little bit, but I think it is worthy.
For sure.
What did you think about this movie?
That's okay with me. That's not necessarily a bad thing. And also, Rob, perfect length.
Yes.
And I was thinking about you because I was like, let's see how this works out. Actually, going straight from the top, knowing nothing about this movie, but they did the thing with the intro where they kind of like, they started with the quote.
Yeah.
This guy, Anthony, is so unlikable for me. He's so unlikable. And there were parts where I was like, am I supposed to be rooting for him? Because this guy kind of sucks. But that's like the entire point. So unlike the kids and End of Oak Street, which should be eaten at all costs, I was like willing to watch his journey to turn out. Because again, I didn't know, like, does he become, I knew that he does a lot with food, or does he become a prominent writer, or like both, or like whatever happened. So I was surprisingly way more engaged than I thought, especially after the trailer told me what the whole movie was already.
Yeah. Before we go any further, let me read the synopsis. For those who don't know, this movie is about a 19-year-old Anthony Bourdain travels to a Providence town and stumbles into a chaotic world of restaurant kitchens, setting off the summer that will shape the course of his life. This movie is written and directed by Matt Johnson, written by Todd Bartles, Lou Howe, and Matt Johnson himself, starring Dominic Sessa, who I was trying hard. How do I know this guy? He was in the last year, the Now You See Me, Now You Don't movie, which he was good at that one too. And I was kind of surprised.
I hated him in that movie.
Did you?
And I think like this is just his shtick, because also The Holdovers is phenomenal, and he also plays a little brat ass kid in that one too. So he's just really good at like being this whiny ass character.
Yeah, but I love the fact this movie takes place in the 80s too, because I mean, I just love like a good time period movie. And also it's a food movie, Brandon. I love a good food movie. I really love food movies. It was fun. There was like the good soundtrack in this one. The fact that it was in the 80s made it like a lot more easier for someone like him to go pack up and just leave. You find out he's graduating out of high school. He wants to become a writer. He was up for this big scholarship, if you want to call it like that. I forgot what exactly word there was, but scholarship for the school, fellowship, where essentially is a deal to make books for this company, and then he didn't get it, unfortunately. So, but instead of being honest with everybody, he lies. You're gonna find out he lies throughout the whole movie.
He's a liar,
and he doesn't have to. He doesn't have to. People act like they're gonna be so disappointed in him, or like, oh man, that sucks. Like, no, I know a few people like this too, which is, like I said, it feels relatable when it comes to like getting disappointed when you don't get what you want, you know. And instead of like trying to fix the course or trying to figure something else out, you're just putting on a show, kind of faking it until you make it. But this guy never makes it in writing. Until he realizes, like, oh, like it's to the point where Antonio Banderas, have you ever cooked in the kitchen? He goes, yeah, I have. And he's like, that was a lie. Why? Antonio Banderas was so nice.
Internet, Rob. They couldn't just run a background check on people.
Like, yeah. So Antonio Banderas' character is so great and patient and forgiving. This one, they're literally doing coke in this guy's kitchen, and he's just turning a blind eye to that. How did you feel about this? Let's go to the characters a little bit. The main cast, the main character, and who plays Tony.
Yeah, I think
we talked about it. Yeah,
I just really didn't like him, but also like that's absolutely okay. He's this entitled, like, if one thing, the entitlement will always piss me off, but also like he's that writer, and you know how some artists really just believe in their craft, and he thinks that he's the smartest person in any room that he goes to, but it's proven throughout the movie that he's not. And I love that. Like, even when he's doing the interview for the fellowship, he's like, oh, I crushed that. Oh, and his mom, like, basically tears him apart. You're like, what word are you using? You know that's 2 parts. I hope you didn't put that on your application. I was like, damn, that's so embarrassing. But, like, that happens the entire time. He is like consistently outmatched, but again, still thinks that he has this overinflated ego and is super obsessed with like himself being this sad artist struggling, you know, and then really it's like, bro, just go finish cooking. Like it's actually not that deep at all. But I love that though. I think it absolutely worked here.
I'm glad you brought up the mom because like the director talked about like he took a lot of his own mother and put him in her character in this one too, which I don't know. The dad seems super supportive. Even the brother seems super supportive of anything he did. And it was the mom who was very heavily criticism. And it wasn't really.
This is like my entire point. That in a lesser movie, I think I'd be picking this apart. Like we talked about, I forgot it was a movie a while back. Actually, we'll use Michael. I was like, I don't think they did a good enough job making me hate Joe. Anything like similar here. Like my initial reaction was like, I don't know if they did enough to make me dislike. But then I'm like, put myself in the shoes of a 17-year-old kid. Like my mom sucks, and that's just the answer. That's just how it is. Like even like the correcting thing. We see at the end of the movie or halfway through the movie where he's talking about like how he corrects things and he's like, oh, my mom does that. And then the girl's like, you do too. So like, why do you do it? Like it's stuff like that.
That was a good self-realization scene. How did you feel about Tony just like up and leaving midnight to follow a girl? Like, I mean, he did get bad news that night about he didn't get the fellowship. So he's like, fuck it. I'm going to go somewhere to go chase this girl. And there was a heartbreaking scene when he gets there and he sees in the window like she already has a boyfriend, and that was I think the whole theater
in
like
that window any longer. Like he did that 3 to 4 times in the movie where I'm like, bro, how is you're stalking. There's no other way to say it. You're very creepy right now. But also like, that's what I mean where I said I don't feel bad for this kid. He had a really good support system. Like even after all the stuff that happened at home, his brother comes in his room and is like, Dad, do you want to go get ice cream with us? Like, that's people's dream.
After he just punched a hole in the wall too,
But he's again so obsessed and so self-destructive that he goes and just leaves completely on his own because he wants to be that guy.
Yeah. And then he goes to after he finds out his girl has a guy, he goes to the restaurant, he gets drunk there, and I wouldn't say handsy, he just got like too flirtatious with the bartender. And then I like the funny scene where the bartender looks in the kitchen and he sees him working there at the kitchen. It's like, you fucking hired this guy after you just kicked him out?
No, I'd be pissed. I'd be actually real life mad.
Yeah, that was just luck. I mean, his down luck. He made his own luck. You talked about it. He was an asshole. I mean, he made his own luck. So Antonio Banderas, like he was phenomenal in this movie. I think he might get nominated for Best Supporting Actor for this one.
Really?
Yes, I do agree with that. And then like the comedic scene, I had some older ladies sitting behind me and watching this movie. They were cracking up every single time he threw water in this guy's face, waking him up. I was like, it's not that funny until the 3rd time, dude. But his character, I mean, you see his character, this type of character in many different movies too. Like, I mean, but Antonio he just has that look and that acting, like to play like the really good wise man, like forgiving too, because he even takes this guy to church and everything like that. Not only church, like it's a Spanish speaking church too. Like, he's not going to understand anything. And I like you get like the backstory about him, his passion projects too. Like he went to school, one of the best schools in America or like world for cooking, and then he decided to open his own shop, which I really like how they disclose that detail before the kitchen fire too, because it made it so much more impactful. I was like, this man, that was heartbreaking to see, and then see Tony just kind of not even like feel bad about it because
he literally left, bro. He left the scene. Like, the guy, he's not a good dude. I cannot stress that enough.
Let's talk about Amelia Jones, who plays a love interest in this one too. I don't know if I'm too familiar with her. She was great. I thought she was adorable. I think she played good points. She also did really good job about calling out Tony in the movie throughout several times. Like you said, like, why do you do that then? You call him out on this. Or she was like, you lied to me. Like, why did you lie? Like, you didn't have to do that. Like, it was kind of crazy.
Yeah, but I know her from. It was literally bothering me. I was like, "Why do I know her?" And obviously, this is the girl from Coda, and I am a Coda apologist. I love that movie. I think it's literally phenomenal. I don't care what anybody else thinks. People think that it's like one of the worst Oscar winners, and those people are stupid, Rob. This is like in that movie, she plays it a little bit younger. I think she's like 17 in that movie or whatever. And here she's like an actual full, adult. And I thought I don't understand what she sees in this guy whatsoever at all. Actually, I think she is significantly out of his league, and I think that they may have casted it that way. But this absolutely worked. I think that she did well with what she was given here.
Couldn't agree more. I don't think I have too much to say more about her. Like I think they used her the perfect amount of time. Like she showed up in the random spots. You show like her as like his inspiration for moving out there in the first place. I don't know how much of the story is true. Like I'm sure these characters are real and stuff like that, but I'm sure they threw in a lot of details like that. I would at least hope that character Sal was not real because he was just like a horrible dude,
I see. That's where I think is absolutely real. I think that's like 100%. He had a bad mentor because like also he's telling on himself. He's like, yeah, I was a stupid kid. I was drinking all the time, doing coke, like just like sleeping out, like he was bummy. But that is the part of the process that made him the way he is now, and obviously he's extremely successful. So yeah, for sure.
Let's talk about him for a little bit. Leo Woodall, Sal. We just mentioned both how we liked him a lot in this movie. Him as a character, he was pretty fucking ballsy. He did not give. He was so unapologetic. He was a dick. He did everything he wanted to do. He didn't even feel bad about it. He even had a weird niche. Like whenever he slept with a woman, he would take a chunk of the door frame off to put it in the jar.
That's how I know that was real. I was like, yeah, he witnessed that. And I didn't just come to him in the writer's room.
Yeah, I mean, like this guy, I could see the appeal of wanting to hang around somebody like this too, because like it does seem cool. But then like it gets to where like this shit gets old real quick, like why are we still acting like this? He's picking a fight. I mean, that attention's like when they go to a bar, him and Tony together, and they see this girl, show up with a boyfriend too, and he sees it upset Tony, so he decided to beat the shit out of him to the point where he probably almost could have died because he was hitting him pretty fucking hard.
Yeah.
And then that's kind of where Tony and his girl kind of distanced a little bit because he's, you just did that to my boyfriend, which I don't blame him. But like, I thought it was pretty cool. To me, that was the first time in the movie that they show like he does kind of care for Tony a little bit,
For sure. And I kind of felt that like at the party when he, goes with the lie. And he was so smooth. I'll tell you what, this guy's charismatic as all hell. And they showed how like he uses that to his advantage because obviously it works with the girls in the movie, but also at the end where he's like, you're doing this all wrong. Donations, everybody. Don't check for check. Like he's just got that ability to, and we all know somebody like that who's still an absolute shitbag.
Yeah, and then they meet the old coworker too, who, man, like the scene like where they jumped off the pier and stuff like that. They're coming soaking wet, and they run into one of his old coworkers too, who is like, "Hey man, you holding?" And he gives him, "Yeah, I thought it was just coke or weed or something like that." Then you see him put a belt around his arm. That shit it got real so quick, and then my whole theater was in shock. How was your theater reaction, by the way? Like, was it a packed theater or was it?
No, just like probably a little bit under halfway, but it worked because I had like a lot of old people in my theater and they were cracking up, dude. Like everybody in my theater was very into this movie as well. And there was a few funny parts that had me laughing, but like similar to that, when the belt came out, there was an audible gasp from the audience. I was like, whoa, didn't think we were going to go there.
Yeah, I went to go see this Friday night. I think the opening night I think it came out a week early in limited theaters, but like it really came out full everywhere this past weekend. It was in a small theater, but it was more than halfway filled. Like it was quite a bit of us in there too, and everyone seemed to be having a good time. Like it was one of those movies where it formed a little bit of circles outside too, which is very cool to see.
I love that.
Yeah, but everyone seemed to be on the same page. Everyone seemed to laugh on the same thing or gasp at the same time too. Like it was. I think one of the biggest ones too is like when he's seen that girl with a boyfriend too. When Antonio Banderas got punched, that was a big shock too. And man, that was a pretty hard scene. But Stavros, let's talk about Stavros in this movie too, because I'm a big Stavros fan. I love him and everything. He is so funny, like when he's like, because he was in Begonia last year, and he's like, why the fuck am I in this movie? Like I'm with Jesse Plemons and Emma Stone. Like there's no reason like why I'm in mixed with these characters. So I mean, it's pretty cool to see I don't think he adds anything to the movies, but it's just really cool to see him in this kind of movie.
He adds that chaotic energy. Like when I saw him in the back of the kitchen cursing out the stupid cooker, I was like, yeah, that would be the guy back there. Like that. It was so just correct. It felt right there.
And yeah, that is good. Like kitchen morale, like normal kitchen morale, I would say. And it was also kind of hard for me to like pin his loyalty was to. Was it like to Antonio Banderas, or was it to Sal? Because like when he punched their boss, he was like, he didn't know what to do. Like I think that was a really good scene right there, because like everyone's reaction was so confused and too afraid to say anything, because that shit was pretty real. Like you don't know. I mean, it's your boy and also your boss who gave you this opportunity. You can say, like, I think everyone's behind Antonio Banderas in this movie. Like they see his potential and stuff like that. They're all excited to be there. I don't think I heard anyone complain about the actual kitchen work. That, I mean, I'm sure they have behind the scenes or in real life. But yeah, I mean, the whole kitchen staff, that black guy who was never named, I don't think, he was pretty funny. Like with it, came to smash a potato or slice a potato. Does it in one pull, or he picks up the burning hot pan. Yeah, he kind of reminds me of from Ratatouille, that guy who was like, I killed a man with this thumb, kind of like that. This movie, one of my favorite things about this movie and all biopics, so they showed a real picture at the end of the movie. I kind of wish they ended the credits scenes like with multiples of it,
100%. And well, I'll hold my thoughts there. But yes, couldn't agree more. They also didn't look the way that I thought they would. But that's movies for you.
Yeah, that is definitely movies. Because if you had people looking like them in real life, they probably wouldn't have done less. I don't know. This movie was short, Brandon. I have nothing bad to say about this movie. I think it's a good movie. Would I recommend people to rush to the theaters to go see this movie? Probably not. It's a good movie to watch, maybe streaming at home. Like, I don't think you're going to get any less feelings from watching it on your couch versus sitting in a theater, except for the fact that you have to lock in at a theater versus be on your phone.
Yeah. Well, and this, like, again, it just draws you in so much. So what did you think about the ending?
About how you're talking about like the actual, like the party thing and stuff like that, where like he has that decision point, like, do I give this money to him? That was such an awkward moment, because not only he robbed this guy, he's flat out robbed. He went into his house, he with the intention of stealing his money, but he instead steals like a cookbook instead, throws this big party in the beach, and is telling everybody all the proceeds are going to fix the restaurant, which is a good thought on its own. Like if he really did that intention, phenomenal. Because he also goes into their kitchen and steals all their pots and pans and all their food and everything. He robs them blind. And then Antonio comes down the stairs and he's like, fuck, he's gonna grill him. Like he's gonna confront him. And then even like Sal goes off to the side. He's like, I don't want to deal with this. And then he has that decision making. He doesn't really call him out. Do you think Antonio really knows like he was there like using his name, or did he think he really believed?
Super ambiguous point, like, because obviously he's talking to the girl at that point, and there was like a look pass between them that he was like, I know what you're doing, but it's all right, like just go. But then he obviously has a change of heart there. So I don't know, like, if that's what they were going for, or if it was like, oh no, like, really great job, like this was really nice of you, because he is a trusting guy and he says that. That's the only part for me.
And then, again, I'm glad you brought that up, part with the scene of looking at each other too. I think that's what's great about this movie. Like there's a lot of expressions on these actors' face, because like there's a lot of dialogue, unspoken dialogue in this movie too, like where you can tell like the gears are shifting in their head and he's really processing, do I do what's right? I think you see that several times throughout the movie, and I really enjoy stuff like that too, because like I think that's what makes it a little bit more relatable. You're not going to really talk out your feelings. You're not going to really talk out your thoughts. But you could see it at least. You could see something is going on in his head. And it's kind of like a pivotal moment in his life. Like if he decided to keep that and run away, his life would have been totally different. But the fact that he decided to stay, and not only decided to stay, everyone seemed to have a good time. Like even the kitchen staff was there.
Bro.
It was
like,
cool.
That was the other part for me. I guess like even like with the rest of the kitchen crew coming to help, right? And like part of me was like, when did they have this conversation? Like,
yeah,
how does that kind of work? But again, like I also know the movie, and it has to wrap up as well.
I don't know if the kitchen staff knew they were there to profit the money, or they really thought
no. But like them just hopping in, or like knowing about it in general, and knowing to come in that way, like what would they have done if they didn't show up? Because you definitely needed extra hands.
Yeah.
I'm glad they did, but I don't know. I liked it, man. I had fun with it, and I think because of that, at the end, I had so many questions, almost to the point where I was like, "Oh no, I need the next 5 minutes." Like he goes home after this, and then like, what the hell happens? Because there's like a quick little montage, but I think that they gave me enough, and obviously it's a real person that I was like, "Yeah, I'm satisfied."
Yeah. I also, just maybe because I don't know New York like that, I was like, where the fuck is this movie taking place? Like, how do you have a beachfront house? Like, where the fuck is the beach at New York? I just don't know.
Yeah, well, I think that part was in Jersey, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know.
I couldn't tell you.
But
I was like, this is like a fucking bungalow off a freaking resort almost. Like how close he was to the beach and how beautiful the beach it was. In that scene too, where they fish for lobsters right outside with a gun too. At that was pretty fun. Yeah,
I think like if I had to nitpick, only because I watched The Bear so much, the lack of calling him chef was pissing me off. All right, it's yes chef, no chef. Okay, but two, it was like I really loved when he actually got inspired because obviously he was trying to impress a girl, and he's like, here's our plan. We're gonna make our special Fridays and all this. But then like the first time they made that special dish was for her. I was like, y'all ain't practice that? Like, like obviously it was messing up the time, but like that was like the one thing where I was like, they would have obviously tried this out beforehand. I don't know why they're doing it.
How about nerve-wracking scene where he was shucking oysters for the first time with that knife in his hand?
Dude, I hate it.
2 minutes.
I was literally watching it like this. Like,
that was the whole theater. That was the whole theater. Like the entire 2 minutes he was fucking with this. We knew it was gonna come, and then it did, and it wasn't as bad as he thought it was gonna be, but it was pretty still shocking.
Still gnarly.
Yeah. I had a great time watching this, Brandon. What would you rate this 1 out of 10?
I had fun, man. It probably a 7.5, 8. Probably go to 8.
I was thinking 7.5.
Yeah.
I had a great time watching this. I probably will watch it one more time for Oscar season. After that, like 2 years from now, am I going to think about this movie? Probably not. Probably not. But it was an entertaining movie. It was great to see Antonio Banderas on this movie. And this main guy, too. Like, I think I could see him in other future movies, too. Like, I don't think it's going to be that.
I've never found an actor with such a streak of making me hate them. Like, almost credit to him. Because genuinely, from The Holdovers, couldn't stand his ass, to Now You See Me, I thought he was so condescending. It was, like, aggravating to me. And now in this, like, you know what? Go for it, guy. Go for it. It's his hair. I think it's just that stupid curly hair. Just get a haircut.
Yeah, he kind of reminded me of Jeremy Allen White. And
yeah, for sure.
And who's playing Bruce? Not Jeremy Allen White. I'm talking about Timothy Chalamet in that other movie, The Folk Singer.
No, I see the Jeremy Allen White, like especially the mullet he had in Iron Claw. Yeah. Like that's very much so.
Before we go on, we're going to be talking about A Dog Stray. Is that what it's called? Jacob Elordi's movie.
Dogs. I don't know. I literally put Dog Day Afternoon on my the Dog Stars. On my board.
Still don't know what this movie's about, Brandon. I still have no idea what this movie's about. Don't know if it's post-apocalyptic, if it's like Civil War.
Yeah, and I'm staying away from the trailer at this point, but it is interesting to me that we got this movie coming out, and then like the Brad Pitt dog movie is also coming out. I saw the trailer for that in front of the Odyssey, so I thought that both movies were the same this entire time until I realized they weren't. So yeah, we'll see.
Brad Pitt movie, you're gonna cry.
Yeah. Well, and it's talking about Oscar bait, but in the best way. Like I'm not shying away from that. Give Brad Pitt his thing, but obviously this is directed by Ridley Scott, and it's got Josh Brolin in here as well as Margaret Qualley. So
yeah,
it's got a pretty good cast. A director who has like a pretty. When he does well, he makes fantastic movies. When he doesn't, they also exist. So this should be interesting. I want to see how long this movie is.
I think this movie might do better after word of mouth because I don't think it's doing too well with
I don't hear anybody talking about this.
But the only thing I'm really excited the most about this movie is Josh Brolin. Out of the entire cast, I love Josh Brolin. Margaret Qualley, she's good. I think she still has to prove herself to me.
She's phenomenal. Top 5 up-and-coming actresses of this generation. She's obviously perfect in everything.
Okay.
We will not tolerate any disrespect from her.
I'm also excited for Jacob Elordi too, because this is kind of a different genre for him a little bit, So we'll see how.
Yeah, this is obviously he had his Oscar campaign last year. He did absolutely phenomenal. But to your point, he had a lot of prosthetics on, and this is his we are officially in his post-Euphoria era.
Yeah.
And not even we saw him in Saltburn, right? He was really interesting there, but now he is the leading man in this movie. So he
also had that movie with the romance movie with what the fuck is it? It was based off a book. I can't remember.
Yeah, with
but that movie flopped. That was a pretty big flop, actually.
Yeah, what the hell was that movie?
Margot.
Yeah, it was with Margot Robbie. It was
Robbie.
I just don't remember the movie.
Yeah.
But it was everybody was talking about the romance movie of the.
It was a big flop. Before you go on, I did see you saw Spider-Man again. Was that your second time watching it?
Hell yeah. I'm probably going to see it again. But I tell you what, when I went to go see Tony, they had a Spider-Man poster. And
really?
I've been practicing just, what's the word they say? Like, just asking for stuff lately. Yeah. Like, what, I keep telling myself that everybody else is just an NPC. Like, for the most part, like, what's the worst that's going to happen? Like, I just, rejection therapy. But yeah, I went up there and I was like, hey, let me get one of those posters. And she gave me one. So I'm going to keep on
Brandon, closed mouths don't get fed,
Yeah, no, literally.
I actually going to see Spider-Man for the third time tonight. I wanted to see it last night. Theaters are still being sold out, Brandon. Yeah. Theaters are still being sold out. It's insane. Like I to the point where I could see this crossing $3 billion.
No shot.
You don't think so?
No shot.
We're already at 2.5.
Obviously, I think it just crossed 2 billion last weekend. Well, we had two major things. The thing that I was talking about with The Odyssey is now the highest grossing R-rated movie of all time. And I definitely didn't think that it would get that far. So shout out to that. And Ryan Reynolds made like a funny YouTube video or like a Twitter post about it. But yeah, watching this like continue to climb has been crazy.
Okay. I'm excited to see Spider-Man. I don't know. I think I'm holding out. I could see 3 billion because it's like a 2.6 right now.
It's already like it's not making enough right now, and I'm trying to see where it stands on the all-time list. I think it's what, 6th?
It could be, but I think this is for like at least the next 2 weekends. It's gonna be number 1 still. Like for sure, number 1 this weekend.
Yeah, it's at 2.2.
It's gonna hold up there. It's gonna be up there for a while.
Again, like I think it's gonna climb, and I think it's gonna be up there. We have it's at 2.2, dude, which puts it 6th on the all-time list. But Avatar is at 2.92, and Avengers Endgame is basically at 2.8. Like it's not going to make another $400 billion or $500 million. That's not happening. It's not happening.
Man,
it's making like 50 million a week, which is still great. That's most movies like whole theatrical run at this point. Yeah. But to get another, actually, so if it's a 2.2, you think that it's going to make $700 million more?
It could. I mean, maybe not this year, but how they do re-releases like for like the first year anniversary.
I think it'll beat Titanic. It's at 2.2, 2,219. Titanic is at 2,264. So it's got basically about 50 million more to make. Within 2 weeks or a lifetime, I'm similar to you. I think that it could squeeze that out. But no.
Okay.
Even Way of Water's got another 100 mil on it. It's not happening, Rob.
I'm excited to see after the third watch and almost a month later to see if Spider-Man holds up, which I'm sure it still does because I'm thinking about it all the time still. Other than that, we're going to be talking Jacob Elordi a lot next week, like I said. Brandon, anything you want to end on?
I didn't talk about it, so I will. If you're not watching Ted Lasso yet, go start this season. It's fun. It's back, at least in a way that, makes us want to watch the rest of the season. We'll see if it can stick the landing, but we're getting the old Ted Lasso vibes. Go check it out.
I love it. I'm excited for it. Thank you for listening. Subscribe to the Instagram page, our YouTube channel, and thank you again. Stay tuned next week. We'll be saving you seat.